to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Dai family, and welcome to another episode of Dr. Mumbi Spiritual Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray, family, that you are well in all your ways, family, and that you're moving into living life very much on your own terms. It is so important, especially that part, on your own terms, in your own narrative, in a story that favors you, in a story where you're not at the bottom, in a story where you're not a slave, in a story where you're not colonized, but rather in a story where you're, descendants of kings and queens and emperors and empresses. And that means connecting to the truth of your bloodline, family. And that kind of brings me into what I want to talk about today, because the God of the New World Order is actually taking effect. I really believe that we are fully immersed now in an AI reality. They won't tell us just how much artificial intelligence is controlling things, but for the last decade, family, all these mobile phones, the tablets, the computers, they've all been spying, watching, analyzing, and now with all the algorithms, wherever you go, someone has an algorithm. It's like the new God of the New World Order has been studying us and slowly tweaking our reality to immerse us into the AI reality. So, and it's very subtle, it's very psychological and mental, where they've accumulated so much information about humanity. And then now they try and direct you subtly, very subtly. So today you'll get all the alternative news. And then, I don't know if you've noticed this, like okay, the LGBT, whatever, right? So it's like I always block those channels and everything. But you'll notice after a couple of weeks, those same topics you don't want to discuss, although, you don't want to have, your eyes to see, or those same things you've blocked from, those same pages you've blocked from YouTube or whatever, you'll start to see them creeping in. And it's like there's a violation of our privacy, but we can't even tell where AI begins and where our privacy ends, family, or where our privacy begins and AI ends. Because they say, if you sleep with your mobile phone at night, it's even monitoring your breathing and all these things. So the God of the New World Order has already taken over. And that God is artificial intelligence, family. It has started, and the reason artificial intelligence has even been, adopted as a God of the New World, first of all, is because the Mzungus have lost control of it. AI is now more intelligent than those that created it. And I think even Elon Musk has mentioned that in one of his interviews, how he feared that AI would end up taking over humanity, and that was the biggest threat we were facing. And people, it's all memes and quotes. We're made to think everything is just, a hot line, a hot quote, and then we keep it moving. But he was really sharing something quite profound. And you see, the Babylonians, let me call them that. I don't even know what to call them. The Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, family. They knew that the original people and the original God or creator of this world would be returning at such a time as this, because we are getting ready to take a quantum leap. Some of us have already taken that quantum leap. And they knew that when the Aquarian age hit, their whole story, which had stuck so deeply in the Piscean age, the age of emotion and all this stuff, and fantasy and illusion, their idea of a Mzungu God in the sky and a Mzungu man who saved the world, and it just wouldn't fly. And so many people, that thing has been dismantled. The whole Jesus story has been dismantled. There's so many different ways you can look at that story. I'm not going to get too deep into that. But the reason they want to put this artificial intelligence is because they cannot fight the original creator and the ancient ones. So they are putting AI in place, even with the risk that they will lose control of the AI. That tells you how much they despise the original ones and how much it's a war. People don't recognize this thing is a war, family. And we wage not war against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness. It's a mental and spiritual, emotional, psychological, auric war. Way before it hits your body, they've already attacked all your other 7 bodies. They've already attacked your mental body, your emotional body. It's a complete bombardment, and AI has just been given total access to our lives, total access to our past stories, so that they can become the god of the New World Order. And another reason they've been doing this, family, is because we're back into the age of miracles. I don't know if you remember when I interviewed Stoneman. I'll definitely look for that interview and share. And he said that we were leaving the age of logic and we were entering the age of miracles. And so, which means like miraculous healing. You can be regenerated. A lot of us have resurrected. We were literally on death's door and somehow we've regenerated our bodies. And so there's a lot of things now that would be considered miraculous just because we're in a new energy. We have more access to our gifts, to our powers. And so they want to make AI mimic that spiritual power. So now you'll be told if you have a heart problem, they'll just put a little nano in you. Those little nano robots just to clear that up. If you have high blood pressure, they'll put a few nano robots in you. And they even announced to try and get their people excited that they would achieve immortality by 2030. The reason I share this story, family, is because it's just to continuously remind you to please come out of Babylon. Please tap in and connect yourselves to another narrative. And you know what? It's so amazing because I recently spoke to, I don't know if you know Ron Dalton, the one who Kyrie Irving mentioned his documentary. He's received so much shadow banning on all these media platforms. They're trying to stop his incredible documentary, family, that tells us who we really are. Who are the Bantu? Who are the Bantu? A lot of different races have tried to hijack the identity, the story, the messiahs, the angels and the gods of the Bantu. And so I highly, family, let's definitely support our brother. He is actually going to be bringing the documentary to Monte Casino on the 20th of May. Doors open at 11 a.m. The screening will start at 1 p.m. and then they'll have a Q&A after the movie. It's crazy because Ron has actually been trying to bring this movie to Africa and there's been so many gatekeepers. It's like everyone knows we're the heroes, but the people on the motherland, although now there's a lot of exposure that's happening across the motherland. And it was prophesied that the minute our narrative on the motherland connects with our narrative with our brothers and sisters, and we understand our commonalities and we come together in unity, it would change the game. And, Ron is actually in South Africa. So if you'd like to get in touch with him, if you happen to be in Johannesburg, if you could help him to spread the word, family, because it's to connect people. And what's so amazing is that our Hebrew brothers and sisters are coming from Congo. They're coming from Zimbabwe. They're coming from the divided states, Senegal. There's even some Congo pastors who are trying to see if they can take the movie to the Congo. And I'm giving this a shout out, family, because he's one of the people who has dared to tell our narrative. I mean, if you just look at my show the other day, I was talking about how now Egypt wants to actually launch a global campaign to prove that the ancient Egyptians weren't black. So the narrative is everything. The narrative is the power. The narrative is the foundation for the future, family. And super special shout out to Ron for bringing that narrative to the motherland. I was really surprised when I was speaking to him and he was talking about how hard it was how theaters in certain countries refuse to air it because they said they only air, the Marvels and the Wakanda Forevers of this world, where they're controlling our narrative. So if you're in South Africa, family, mark the date, 20th of May. You can actually get the tickets. I'll actually, in case you're wondering what documentary I'm talking about, check out my Instagram and my Twitter and my Facebook, because I'll put them there, because YouTube be funny right now. But you can buy tickets at CompuTickets or QuickTickets.com. A lot of people are getting them from CompuTickets. And show up and show out, family. Show up and show out, because all of us, when we connect with this energetically, even if you know that narrative, if you are there representing your country, your community, it's a vibe thing, family. We don't move like other people. We're a spiritual people, which means when we come together, so much more happens on a conscious and spiritual level that cannot be measured. So let me reiterate, family. The God of the New World Order is taking his position. He's been sneakily taking his position. The shutdowns was kind of his final step to try and get as many minions on his side. Know your story. Tell the children the truth, family. Stay safe, stay uplifted, stay empowered, stay informed. Tuko pamoja.